Hey guys, what's up, and thank you for clicking on my video, and welcome to the part 4 tutorial in your Adobe Photoshop training. And guys, in today's tutorial we're going to take a look at all the selection tools that are there in Adobe Photoshop. And guys, once we are done with the selection tools, I'll show you something about the selection tools, or about the modes of selection tools in the property bar. And then guys, I'll teach you the different keyboard shortcuts that will really help you out when you are doing some selections. Okay, so guys, today's tutorial I think may go a little bit longer, alright, but I would recommend you people to stick down and watch it completely. Okay, so let's get started guys. Alright guys, so for explaining you the selection tools, I'm gonna be opening an image. Alright, I'm just gonna go and do a double click, and guys, I'm gonna import a few images which I think will really be awesome for explaining you guys this, I think. And say some really nice pictures over here of food, and I'll just do an open. Okay, and yeah guys, in this tutorial all the images that I'm gonna use, they are not my property, okay, whatsoever. I do not own them, and they are the property of their respected owners. Okay, alright, so I'm gonna go and do a Control-0 for fit and view command. Alright, and then guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under the Windows menu, arrange, and I'm gonna do match all, so that I do not have to go individually to every picture and press Control-0. Alright, and yeah, so firstly guys, when it comes to tools in Adobe Photoshop guys, always remember this one thing, okay, that every tool in Adobe Photoshop is located on your left hand side toolbar. Okay, there's this one toolbar. If you're using the Essentials workspace, the toolbar is going to be on your left hand side. Alright, and every tool, your selection tool, your smudge tool, hand tool, zoom tool, any kind of tool guys that is there in Adobe Photoshop is going to be located in this toolbar. Okay, and if you guys take a look at the toolbar properly, there are going to be actually guys, there are going to be most of the tools, okay, which will be having this small triangle, okay, below them, or like a small triangle. And I'll just be okay, I'm sorry about that guys. Alright, so yeah guys, in the toolbar guys, you'll see that most of the tools have this small triangle. Okay, basically guys, that means that this tool has many more tools, okay, behind it. So guys, what you have to do is, if you do a right click on that tool, you'll see that there is a small drop down menu which comes up. Okay, and okay, I'm sorry once again people. Alright, so yeah, if you do a right click on the tool, okay, you will see that there are many more tools located, okay, behind the tool. Alright, so you can go ahead and do that right click and select all these tools. One other way is, you know, you can hold on your left mouse button. Okay, if you are not comfortable clicking the right mouse button, you can hold on the left mouse button for some time, and you'll see that the drop down comes up again, and then you can go ahead and select the tools. Okay, now let's take a look at the selection tools. Now guys, there are basically some 7 tools, okay, as what I remember, not so sure guys, but there are these 3 types of tools. Okay, first is the marquee selection, second is a lasso selection, and the third is this magic wand and the quick selection. Alright, so let's take a look at the marquee selection tools. Okay, once again guys, the marquee selection tool is going to be located on, like, that's going to be the second tool, okay, on your toolbar. If you do a right click on the tool, you'll see that there are 4 tools, okay, available to you. But firstly guys, like, there are 4 tools available, but trust me on this one guys, 99% times you're going to be using only these 2 tools. So basically these are your important tools, and I'm going to be discussing all these 2 tools, okay, in today's tutorial. So firstly guys, let's get started with this rectangular marquee tool. Now when you click on it guys, the tool gets activated. Alright, and you basically guys, you can just go ahead and just drag a marquee. And actually guys, I'm going to go ahead and create a new blank document. Alright, so that you can see what I'm doing. Right, go ahead and press escape. Yeah, now if you see guys, okay, I have got my selection, and just assume that this is one of my images. Okay, and once you see that, I can just basically drag a marquee, alright, with my marquee selection tools, and if I want to deselect, I can just go ahead and click in the middle, or I can just go ahead and click somewhere else, and I'll lose my selection. Alright, so that's how you do it. Secondly guys, if you want to take your selections, or say your marquee selections, alright, in proper proportion, alright, just hold down your shift key and you'll see that the selection is now in proper proportion. Selection is in proper proportion. Alright, so that's how you do it, and just go ahead and use this tool. Now guys, listen up. There are some modes, okay, in the selection tool, and those modes, guys, are displayed on in your property bar over here. Okay, so say I have selected my rectangular marquee tool. Okay, the shortcut is M, and if you press M again and again, there's going to be toggling between these two tools. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and use my marquee selection. You know, there are these four modes, okay, for the selection. Right now guys, I am in the mode for drawing, or basically new selection. If I change my mode to add to selection, okay, if I click on it, the add to selection gets activated, and you'll see that there is my this one marquee selected. If I go ahead and click somewhere else, or like, okay, like somewhere else, okay, outside the marquee, you'll see that the marquee selection doesn't, like, I do not lose my selection. So basically what this mode is going to do is it's actually going to add to my selection. Okay, so like say if I drag one more marquee, you'll see that now I'll be having two marquees. Or basically when I do the add selection, and if I overlap them, okay, if I overlap my two selections, and if I let go, you'll see that it just joins. Okay, basically I am adding to my previous selections. If you people are familiar with Adobe, if you people are familiar with CorelDRAW, this can be related to the weld technique, okay, the weld and the trim technique. Similarly guys, we have this one subtract from selection, okay, mode. If you click on it, it is basically just gonna go ahead and subtract from your selection. So say I have made this one selection, and if I want to remove this part, okay, remove the small part of square, I'll just drag one more selection, and when I let go this time, you'll see that that part just gets out of my selection. Okay, basically I just deselect that much area. So that's how selections work. Okay, and lastly guys, we have this one mode, which is the intersect mode. Okay, then if you just drag a marquee, okay, everything which is intersecting, okay, but in my previous selection and in my new selection, only that much area will remain selected. Okay, so if I let go now, you'll see that only that much area has been selected, right? So that's very important. And alright, so now let's take a look at the circular or the elliptical marquee tool. And guys, basically frankly guys, everything, okay, every marquee selection is like at least these two, the rectangular marquee, everything that you have learned right now till now, okay, in my 7 minute tutorial, can be applied in the elliptical marquee tool also. Okay, and guys, just remember this part: when you are making a selection, okay, say that you made a selection, and guys, you switch to your move tool, right? You press the V key on your keyboard to switch to the move tool, and if you are somewhere inside your selection, and if you move this thing, you are actually gonna cut those pixels. Okay, basically you will be transferring all these pixels to another area, revealing your background color, or basically the image which is behind this image. Okay, so just remember on this part. And if you want to move your selection, guys, okay, make sure that you are in your selection tool. Okay, so if I dragged a marquee selection, I should be in my marquee selection tool, right? And once I'm in my marquee selection tool, now I can freely just take my selection anywhere I want. Okay, so that's very, very important. And yeah, so that's how you use the two marquee selection tools, that is a rectangular marquee and the elliptical marquee tool. Right? The real magic of these two tools are, you know, is really when you have to combine them with all these different modes. Okay, say that if I go ahead and if I just try to show you guys, okay, a real life thing, like say in my selection, like if I can, you know, I can just go ahead and drag a marquee selection, okay, around these cherries to select them, then I can move them, okay, to properly place my selection, and then I feel that I should be adding this glass of water, beer, whatever it is, right, to my selection. I can just change my mode, alright, to add to selection, and then I'll be able to drag one more marquee, and you know, you'll see that I just welded those two selections, or basically I just add to the selection. So that's very, very good and important. Similarly guys, I can go ahead and select the whole area, that is this part as well, and just say that I should be making it around here. Yeah. And now if I want, guys, I can take this proper image, okay, to some new image, okay, which I want to put it in. And that's the real beauty of using selections on your images, okay, for adding really nice effects to your things. All right, and that's it. Okay, so let's get started with the lasso tool now. Okay, moving on, we're gonna be having these three tools: the lasso tool, the polygonal lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. Okay, so let's take a look at the lasso tool first. Now guys, lasso tool is supposed to be the tool which you can just basically it's supposed to be like a selection tool, a freehand selection tool, okay, you can say, as in it will make a marquee, okay, as it will make the selection according to your hand movements. All right, so you can just take a freehand marquee, and if you take it, if you drag it all the way around the glass, and you will see that the glass just gets selected. Right now I'm in my lasso tool, so I am able to move my selection. Once I change my tool to the move tool, I can cut these pixels, and right now you're going to be seeing this really faded line because I have changed the selection feather to to some percentage, okay, to some high percentage, say 10 or 12. That's not high, but that is some, at least that's more than 0 or 1. So that's the reason you're going to be seeing this small fadish kind of a line, okay, around my selections. I'm going to do Control Z for now, and let's, okay, so basically that's it. And yeah, those modes, okay, are applied to the selection tools also, right, to the lasso tools also. So I can go ahead and change my mode once again to the add to selection if I feel that some of the part has not been selected, right, and I need to select that part. I can just go ahead and drag a marquee once again, okay, and if I close it, you'll see that that much parts gets added to my previous selection. Similarly, guys, you can go ahead and subtract from selection, right? Just go ahead and feel like I do not want these cherries and I only want this glass of beer. I can just go ahead and do that, and you can see that I did that. All right. Then guys, again, you have the intersect in the lasso tool, right? Basically all those four normal modes that were there in the marquee selection tools, okay. Then we have the polygonal lasso tool, right? So let's go ahead and first deselect, and if you want to deselect an image, all right, Control D is a shortcut. If you Control D it will just go away. All right, so once that's done, and now guys, we have the polygonal lasso tool. Now the function, and actually guys, I need to switch pictures for explaining this thing properly. Say I will choose this image. All right, now the way polygonal lasso tool works is something like this. You click on a point, okay, for starting your selection, and then what will happen is that you need to point out the other point, okay, to like to this selection tool for creating these different kind of nodes or joints, okay, by which you have to select an image. And the best way, I think, it's not basically the best way of selection in Photoshop, and actually guys, there is no best way, all right, for selections in Photoshop, because every different time, all right, you need to use some other tool. Now the best way of selection for this image right here is going to be the quick selection tool, and I'll just, and you'll understand why am I saying that when I explain the quick selection tool. All right, so let's just go ahead and quickly finish the selecting of this glass. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly make it a rough thing. Alright, and guys, if you are feeling a little bit like uncomfortable, okay, because what happens is sometimes you may really get when there is a complex image, okay, there is a lot of data in the image, there are a lot of people in the image, you may sometimes lose the track, okay, and before speaking that, guys, let me tell you, when you want to close a selection, okay, you can just go ahead and you need to actually come to the point where you had actually started your selection. Okay, now this thing, guys, can actually be sometimes a little bit difficult, okay, when there is a lot of data in the image, like I said, okay, it can be sometimes difficult. So what you can do is, and actually I'm gonna go and click somewhere else, and I'm gonna select the whole image again, but I'm gonna make it really quick this time, and say I'm just gonna make a really rough selection this time, and say yeah, that's it. Now but this time, guys, instead of joining it to the place where I start my selection, I'm gonna double click on this point, and you'll see that it automatically joins, okay, and completes my selection. So just double click, and you'll see that it automatically goes ahead and completes it. So basically guys, if you are feeling uncomfortable or you are not able to find the place, okay, where you had started making your selection, all you need to do is you need to do a double click and the tool will complete the selection on its own for you. Okay, so that's a very important thing. And again guys, you have these 4 modes again, okay, in the polygonal lasso tool. The add to selection, the subtract from selection, and the intersect with selection. And we have this magnetical lasso tool. Now listen up guys, magnetical lasso tool is a little bit different, okay, from the polygonal or from the lasso tool. Now what it does is guys, it basically selects things based on the color range. Okay, so right now guys, if you see, I have got this really, I've got this one whitish, a little bit black background. Okay, and you'll see that there is this one, basically guys, there are really nicely distinguished color. Okay, so say if I start my magnetical lasso tool, I just need to click once for starting the tool. Okay, and you'll see that wherever I move my mouse, okay, it will automatically, I'm not clicking guys, okay, I'm not pressing any kind of button on the keyboard, and I'm not like clicking on my mouse either. Okay, I'm just dragging the I'm just moving my mouse around the around this glass, and as you'll see guys, that it automatically creates points for me. Alright, but this thing guys sometimes can be a little bit irritating and uncomfortable, okay, especially to the beginners. But sometimes guys, it is really a quick thing to use. Okay, and once again guys, if you are feeling uncomfortable, say that you have made lots of selections, okay, you have really made a big trail out of yourself, okay, of this selection, and you are having a tough time to go to the place where you have started your thing, all you need to do is you need to do a double click and it will automatically join the selection and you'll have a proper selection. Okay, so that's a very important thing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly select this part. And that's your magnetical lasso tool. Once again guys, you have all these 4 different modes, okay, in the selection, which are very, very important. Now let's take a look at the quick selection tool. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and deselect it. Once again guys, Control D is your shortcut for deselecting, and that's very important. And let's take a look at how this quick selection tool works. Okay, and if you remember, I had said that the quick selection tool would probably be the best tool for selecting in this image. Now what happens is, people, quick selection tool is supposed to be like a brush. Now if you see guys, in the property bar, you actually have these you actually have your mode, but this time you only have 3 modes. Okay, first is the new selection. That's a very basically just start a new selection. You want to go and Control Z now. The second is you have the add to selection, and the third is you have subtract from selection. Now this time you do not have the intersect option, okay, because guys, this is like a brush. Okay, it is not the way you're gonna be dragging a selection, alright, or marking, by a marquee selection. You're not gonna be selecting with a marquee. Neither this time you're gonna be drawing a lasso or a shape on the thing that you want to select. This time guys, you're going to be using a brush. Therefore the quick selection tool, you can go ahead and increase the size of the brush from this thing right here. Right, there's a small drop down, you click on it, there is a size option. You can use the scrubby option, right, that is, you can just click on the size and you can just scrub for increasing your brush size, or you can just go ahead and use a scrub over here. But the way that I prefer to do is using the keyboard shortcuts, that is the right bracket key, okay, and the left bracket key. These 2 keys guys are gonna be on the right hand side of your keyboard. Basically on the basically it's gonna be near the P letter on the keyboard. I'm gonna go ahead and increase my brush size. And if you see guys, that right now basically guys, this tool works on the colors that are there available in an image. Okay, so basically guys, if you see, there is a lot of white in my image. So if I just do a 1 click, you'll see that it goes ahead and it properly selects, okay, only the white. You can see that there is this one, I can see that there is a color distinguish happening. Alright, basically the color gets changed from white to the wood color, and therefore guys, my quick selection just stops over there and only selects the white. If I want to add, okay, you don't really need to go for the add option, because it automatically gets selected for you. You can just go ahead and keep painting all you want, and you'll see that. But right now guys, you can okay, no, it's not. And right now guys, you can see that it properly went ahead and selected my background. If I want to select this part, this wooden table also, just go ahead and click on it, and you'll see that. And actually guys, this time it gone ahead and it selected my glass also. So I can just go switch back to my my subtract from selection mode. Okay, I will reduce my brush size pressing the left bracket key. You can see if it got reduced. I'm gonna click on it again, and till the time it just deselects the whole glass, I'm gonna, yeah, that's it. And now guys, if I try to move, okay, yeah, the layer is locked, so I need to double click and change the layer name, and I'm not gonna get into all that guys. Okay, so that's your quick selection tool. Alright, next guys is supposed to be the magic wand tool. The keyboard shortcut for both of these tools are the W key. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and deselect my image. Now the magic wand tool guys, in this tool again guys, you have the 4 options. But guys, this thing is nothing like your brush tool, basically your quick selection tool. Okay, this thing works on a tolerance level, okay, and works on all these 3 it works on these 2 options also. Okay, so say if I start my selection, I can just randomly start my selection anyway I want to, and you'll see that you just need to continuously keep clicking, okay, and it will select the data in your image depending on the size of the tolerance you have kept. Okay, so if you have kept somewhere which is really low, somewhere like 8, if you press enter, and I'm gonna go and do Control D for deselecting. Now this time when I click, okay, and I'm only gonna click one time because that's how you are supposed to use a tool. If I go and click somewhere over here, you can see only a small part gets selected this time. Once again, I'll do a Control D, and I'm gonna change this thing to somewhere which is really big, somewhere like 80. Click enter again, and I'm gonna click once again. You'll see that a really big portion of the image gets selected. Okay, so basically this tool depends or works, okay, on the tolerance settings that you have given to it, right? And guys, the selection of this tool also depends on this option right over here, which is contiguous. Okay, now what happens is if you no, basically first let me show it to you. Yeah, that's like a tough thing to explain to you people. Yeah, let me think. Okay, actually this is not the image, okay, for explaining you people that. I say this would be the image. Let's see. Basically guys, what happens is that contiguous will stop selecting, okay, once there is a color difference. Okay, like if you see that this white, okay, this white right over here didn't get selected. Okay, when I zoom in, this white right here didn't get selected because there was this one black thing, okay, coming in the way, and therefore it didn't get selected. But if I remove my contiguous, and if I press Control D, and if I click somewhere over here, you'll see that this white this time gets selected because the contiguous option was off. And basically it's gonna scan the whole image, okay, and it's gonna select all those white options, right, or white area which is there in your image for like basically it's just gonna go ahead and select all those white area. Okay, so that's how it works. And if you keep the tolerance settings really low, then the selection of the tool will be really low. Okay, so go ahead guys, practice with these tools, right? And if you have any problems, then you can of course ask me on Facebook, and please subscribe to me and like this video. Thank you for watching my video guys, right? If you guys have watched the full video, that is, please like this video so that other people can see it, right? And please share it also, and please subscribe. Thank you guys. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thank you. Peace.